This video will be a full tour and documentation of this 2020 Volkswagen Jetta SE.
This Jetta is painted in pure white.
It does have smart key access. The front door panels do have storage areas, and on the driver's door panel do have your electronic fuel door and trunk releases. And this vehicle does have power windows, power door locks, and power mirrors.
The SE trim adds VTEX leatherette seat upholstery, and this one has the Titan black interior color scheme.
The front seats aren't manually adjusted. And now, let's go ahead and start the engine. On the key fob, you've got the buttons for lock, unlock, trunk release, remote start, and panic. And since it has smart key access, it also has push button ignition, so just make sure the key fob is somewhere in the vehicle for it to be detected. Put your foot on the brake and push the button.
The Jetta is Volkswagen's contender in the compact sedan segment, rivaling the likes of Civic and Corolla. It's also the second compact car that VW sells, alongside the Golf hatchback. While the Golf is most well known as a 3-door or 5-door hatchback, the Jetta is primarily a 4-door sedan, although some generations have also been sold as a coupe or a wagon. Volkswagen introduced the Jetta in 1980 in an attempt to appeal to North American buyers who wanted a traditional 3-box sedan or coupe, as opposed to a hatchback like the Golf was. The Jetta was based on the Golf, and was essentially the Golf in a different body style. After its 1980 launch, the Jetta became a super popular model, and as of the 2022 model year, is currently in its 7th generation. So for its first 5 generations, the Jetta was essentially a 4-door sedan variant of the Golf, with both cars sharing a majority of the styling. For 2011, however, with the launch of the 6th generation, the Jetta effectively split off from the Golf, and now had its own entirely distinct styling from the Golf, thus becoming more of a standalone model. This 2020 model we have here represents the 7th and current generation of the Jetta, which is codenamed A7 and made its US debut for the 2019 model year. The 7th generation Jetta uses the same MQB platform that underpins the Mark 7 generation Golf, although much like the generation before it, it has its own styling inside and out to set it apart, so it is far from merely a Golf sedan like the Jetta once was. The A7 generation Jetta is also set to get a mid-cycle refresh for 2022. The 2020 Jetta has 2 main variants. The standard Jetta with a 1.4-liter turbocharged inline-4 making 147 horsepower, and the sportier, more exciting Jetta GLI with the 2-liter turbo 4 from the Golf GTI making 228 horsepower. The standard non-GLI Jetta for 2020 comes in the following trim levels: S, SE like we have here, R-Line, SEL, and SEL Premium. The S and R-Line trims can be had with either a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic transmission, while the rest of the trims come standard with the automatic. R-Line models also get Sport Tune suspension. Now as for the Jetta GLI, it comes in 2 trims, those being S and Autobahn, and both trims can pair the 2-liter Turbo 4 to either a 6-speed manual transmission or a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. In Volkswagen's 2020 lineup of sedans in the US, the compact Jetta is the smallest, slotting below the mid-size Passat.
In the gauge cluster, you have 4 analog gauges, including your tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge. And you've also got this digital information display. So you can go through the main menus and then push OK. And then you'll be in a sub-menu, which you can then go up and down with these arrows. Like so. It's got a 4-spoke design, leather-wrapped, multifunctional steering wheel with a flat bottom design and sport grips, 10 and 2. Gloss black. It does have a tilt and telescopic steering wheel. And as for controls on the wheel itself, got your cruise control. This button is basically a shortcut button for your safety features like blind spot detection, rear cross traffic detection, and whatnot. Got your volume. And on this side, you got your information display controls, voice commands, and C-track. Got your headlight controls, air vent. Got your high beam, turn signal, and parking light stalk. And right here is your wiper stalk. Going down the center of the interior, got your touchscreen interface for your infotainment system, along with some shortcut buttons for that, with your volume, power, and tuning knobs, which we'll go over in a bit. Air vents, passenger airbag indicator, hazard light button. From there, you have all the controls for your dual zone automatic climate control, along with the controls for your 3-stage heated front seats, along with your heated steering wheel. You got a storage area, along with a couple of USB-C ports. Next to the gear shifter, you have your push-button ignition, the electronically operated parking brake, your auto stop-start toggle, and your eco driving mode toggle. On the other side is a power outlet. Putting it in reverse does reveal a backup camera. You have 2 cup holders, some storage, along with a center console with more storage. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors, lights, and card holders. On the overhead console, got your overhead lighting, along with the controls for your power sunroof. You can also just open it as a vent. And there are grab handles at all 4 corners. And now, quickly go over the infotainment system. So here's your main menu. Radio, self-explanatory, got your radio screen. As you can see, different source, so AM, FM, USB ports, SD card or Bluetooth streaming audio. Telephone, basically just pair a phone. Vehicle, so got some of your vehicle status. Your driving data. Energy consumers. And then some vehicle settings. Sound, so your sound settings. Media for anything you might have heard via Bluetooth. Also App Connect, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. If you have anything connected like that, you bring up your climate control from here. I like how the heated steering wheel toggle is on the steering wheel itself. You've got a whole display of the interior, settings, and legal notices. Now we'll go ahead and roll down the driver's window and take a look at the engine bay. All 4 windows are fully automatic.
The rims on the Jetta SE are these 16-inch two-tone machined alloys. Powering the 20 Jetta SE is a TSI 1.4-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine. It's a dual overhead cam 16-valve power plant with direct injection, and it produces 147 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 184 pound-feet of torque at 1,400 RPM. Sending that power to the front wheels is an 8-speed automatic transmission with Tiptronic manual shiftability. Running on regular unleaded with a 13.2-gallon fuel tank, the non-GLI Jetta achieves an estimated 30 mpg in the city and 40 mpg on the highway, which are pretty impressive figures. It has a McPherson strut front suspension and a torsion beam rear setup. Bringing it to a stop is a set of 4-wheel disc brakes with ventilated front ones. Curb weight rounds up to roughly 3,000 pounds.
You also got storage pockets in the back door panels. And I gotta say, the back seat is pretty spacious and comfortable for a compact car. Definitely nice to see. The front passenger seat does have a storage pocket on the back. You also got coat hooks on either side back here. And right here, you got the controls for your 3-stage heated rear seats. got a folding rear center armrest with 3 cup holders. It does have dual exhaust.
The trunk of the Jetta offers 14.1 cubic feet of cargo space.
And the rear seats are also 60-40 split folding to further increase cargo space. And I gotta say, this is a pretty spacious trunk. Once again, just like the back seat space, surprisingly spacious for being in the compact car class. And as you saw earlier, the fuel cap is located on the passenger side. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2020 Volkswagen Jetta. And as always, be on the lookout for more tours.